Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is April. In today's video, we will be staking up a few of my plants. I made some newly improved LECA poles. I did thread some strings through them in hopes that it would keep the LECA wet. I'm not too confident in that, but we will see how that goes. I also made one of the same type of poles, but just using PON. But this is all just an experiment, especially the LECA poles with these strings. I really want to try to keep these as wet as possible, just so my plants can grow a little bit better. The plants that we're going to be staking up and repotting today are my Cebu blue Pothos that has got a little bit longer. It was on a little plastic stake, but I decided to make it its own nice thick LECA pole. But it also needs to be repotted because it's been in this jar for a very long time and it has a lot of leaves, which probably means a lot more roots. The second plant that we are going to be staking up is my Tetrasperma. This is one that has been in the same pot for probably over a year now. It's not actually in this pot. It's in this tiny little jar that has so much algae buildup. So I think it's time to get him out of here and into a more comfortable home and also staked up. And then the last plant we're going to be staking up and repotting is my philodendron Varicosum. And that's mainly because I feel like these leaves at the top are stuck and not coming out because they're not staked properly, which I could totally be wrong about, but I just feel like she could use a more comfortable situation. She is in PON with a LECA pole, so the PON pole that I made will be for this plant in particular. So if you're interested in seeing me repot and stake up a few plants, then just keep watching. Yes, I'm freaking pumped. I've been so excited to do this. I made these poles last night and I really like them. I'm really hoping that the string keeps everything wet though, because that would be so much better for these plants. I do plan to put the pole I do plan to put the pole down into the plant this way so that the string is in the water and hopefully the water will keep the LECA wet, but like I said, I'm not sure if that will happen. If not, I do plan to spray these poles as much as possible because I really want to get fenestrations on one of these Cebu blue plants that I have. Like, how freaking cool would that be? Let's actually do him first. He is getting repotted into LECA. That's what he's already in, and he's been doing the best in LECA. So we are gonna keep him in his same type of medium. I'm gonna be using this white pot to put him in. Just this normal basic white pot. I'm just gonna start by pouring this in here. And this is what the roots are looking like. Pretty long. I think they're definitely good enough to go into this pot. And I'm actually gonna put them over here for a second so we can get the pole situated. Why is there dust literally flying from the ceiling, ew? I'm going to be using one of these LECA poles and I'm going to be putting this part facing down into the bottom, which is where the reservoir will be. Just making sure it goes all the way down in. And then I'm just going to hold it. So now that I got the roots in like that, you want to make sure all the roots are inside the pot and not trying to creep out. Looks like we might have had some aerial roots that got really long. But I also do have some LECA here. Oh no. There we go. Now that we have her all repotted, I'm just going to start tying her and attaching her to the pole. There's a bunch of little aerial roots that I want to try to attach to the pole. I have a little bit of string here. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Oh, she looks so cute already. So this is what she's looking like now. Repotted on her new LECA pole. This is the front view. I think this new pole is going to be really good for her. This is a close-up of the pole. I did end up putting hot glue on the edges of these zip ties because they were really sharp and I kept getting scratched by them while I was making these poles. All of these little white dots, that is hot glue because like I said, these little edges on the zip ties when I was making the poles were really sharp. The only real difference from these poles and the ones that I made in my making mini LECA poles video is that they're a lot bigger. They have the hot glue on them and they have a string here. I also put hot glue on the edges right here because those were also scratching me up while I was making the pole. But yeah, that's the only real difference. I do think that these might be better if they're able to hold water, but we will see. We're gonna go ahead and move on to this philodendron because I'm very eager to get him out of this pot and repotted, refreshed, and staked up properly. I need to unstake him first, so I'm just gonna snip him off of this LECA pole. LECA pole is coming out of the pond. Ooh, literally the only healthy leaf that I have. Like, I'm so freaking sad about these. But there are 2 more growth points, so I am excited about that. Why do I feel like I'm whispering today? I need to talk louder. Ah! I took my philodendron varicosum out of PON. These are all the leaves. I honestly thought that this was more than one plant, and I've repotted it more than once, so I don't know why I thought that, but I did think that this was more than one plant. Since it's not, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, honestly. So I have the almost empty pond pole because it keeps falling out of the holes. I'm gonna have to fill that back up, but I am going to be putting the philodendron varicosum in this small jar. I filled up the rest of the jar with pond. It looks a lot better now. It looks like what it's supposed to look like. I'm just gonna attach it to the pole. It does have a little bit of roots coming out right here, if you can see those little strings. They are pretty dry, so I don't know how much they would benefit from being attached to the pole, but that is what I'm going to do. Wow, it looks so much more supported now. This is what the first little tie looks like. He's staked up pretty nicely. This guy's nice and firm against the pole right here. I really like that. So this is officially what it looks like staked. So much more support. I'm very happy about that. I'm really hoping that it grows better now that it's supported. This pole is empty. I'm gonna fill it back up. Hopefully I can just do that with a spoon really quick by dumping it in the little hole. Please don't fall out everywhere. It's definitely falling out everywhere. If I had a funnel, this would be so much easier. I filled the pond pole back up, so she is way better supported now. And you could also see the little string down there that I put in to wick up the water. Hopefully it actually does that. I'm not sure how that works. I didn't really look into it before I did this, but that brings us to my lovely Repotting Tetrasperma. I really have a soft spot for this plant because it was the first propagation that I took from the mother plant that is now deceased. And I really want to get it out of this. Look how gross this is. Ugh. This is what the roots look like. Nice and cute. I was gonna put it in this pot. I think we still can. Why not? Oh, let's not forget about the LECA pole. Handy dandy LECA pole and shove her to the bottom. Okay, so like that. Then take the plant with the aerial roots facing like this. Why must I make a mess? Ah! Okay. So she's officially filled back up. And now I'm just gonna start tying her to the LECA pole like the rest. So this is the finished staked up Repotting. It looks like she's literally going to outgrow this pole the next time she grows a leaf, but I'll worry about that when the time comes. I'm so happy, they look so good. I'm really happy with the way that these turned out. These plants really needed some support, and I'm really glad I was able to provide that. They all look so good though. Like, are you freaking kidding? Hopefully these leaves will come out now that they're better staked, but we will just have to wait and see. I saw someone that had a Cebu blue with fenestrations, and I would literally die if this thing got fenestrations on it. We will see. So that brings me to the end of today's video. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Follow my Mother of Plants Instagram for more planty content. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until my next video, bye.